Victor Jara, vivir en paz, live in peace. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. We're broadcasting from Tikipaya, just outside Cochabamba. Here in Tikipaya, within a half an hour, there is a major rally that's taking place in the soccer stadium. Evo Morales will be welcoming people from around the world. Evo Morales, the president of Bolivia. Thousands are making their way to the stadium as this day of the conference, the World Conference People Summit on the Earth is taking place right here on climate change and Mother Earth. I'm Amy Goodman. Protests are stepping up against the San Cristobal mine in central Potosi region of Bolivia. The massive silver, lead, zinc mine is owned by the Japanese trading giant Sumitomo. Local residents accuse the company of causing environmental damage to the region and are demanding compensation. They're also demanding drinking water and electricity for their communities. The San Cristobal protesters blocked a key railway line which allows the mine to export to neighboring Chile. Locals have also seized control of 80 loaded containers of ore, overturned several of them, and stormed a small San Cristobal office near the border with Chile. Meanwhile, that same Japanese firm, Sumitomo, is vying for the rights to extract lithium from nearby Salar de Uyuni. Lithium is a key raw material used in batteries, ranging from cell phones to laptops. There's a new focus on lithium for its potential as a key ingredient in a new generation of electric car batteries. Based even on conservative estimates, Bolivia's lithium reserves are the largest in the world. Jean Friedman-Radofsky is a journalist who has visited the mines, the salt mines where lithium is extracted a number of times. She joins me here in Tikipaya in Cochabamba. Welcome to Democracy Now!
Thanks, Amy.
How many times have you been to these mines?
I've been out to the salt flats about 6 times in the last year.
Well, first let's talk about what's going on with the silver mine and how significant that is. I mean, it's interesting it's taking place right now as President Morales is here in Tikipaya welcoming the world to a climate change summit. But talk about these protests.
I think it is very significant. I mean, the timing is very interesting, but the protests in and of themselves, we're talking about a mine that uses 600 liters of water a day in an area that is almost a desert. Yet there are farming communities around there, and so it is literally just sucking the water from this area. The mine does not pay any tax on the water that it's using, and that's part of the reason why people are protesting. The other issues that they have, the other demands, is the fact that when the mine started in 2007, they came in and promised development for this region. They promised electricity, roads, drinkable water, telecommunications, and almost none of that is happening. So they're demanding that they get what they were promised.
So what have they actually done?
They are blocking the roads, 2 main roadways that go out to Chile, so essentially the mine is unable to export. They're also blocking the railway. They have taken over offices and a couple days ago actually burned down some of the offices. So it's a very large protest. Today is the 9th day. The government has said that they would like the protests to stop, but they right now are not going to take any forceful action to restrain the protesters. The protesters are demanding that government negotiators come out to that region and sit down at the table with them.
Now, they're extracting silver there.
They are silver, zinc, and lead.
This is not far from Cerro Rico, the rich hill. Talk about the significance of this silver mine.
The Cerro Rico was the world's largest silver mine. They say here in Bolivia that the silver that was extracted from the Cerro Rico could have built a bridge from Bolivia all the way to Spain. And it's become this symbol of sort of Bolivians see it as the exploitation of their country. It's most of the riches that came from the Cerro Rico were taken away to Spain or to other foreign companies in recent years, and the only thing that Bolivians were left with was immense poverty and black lung disease. And so it's this gigantic mine or hill that towers over the city of Potosi, and it really has become this symbol of Bolivia's sort of tortured history with foreign companies, foreign governments, and colonialism.
At the time, centuries ago, it was one of the biggest cities in the world, Potosi.
It was sort of the Paris of the world, and I'd say the 1800s. It was the richest city in the entire Western Hemisphere.
And yet they used slave labor to extract, to mine the silver?
Virtually slave labor, absolutely. Most of the indigenous from that area were sort of brought in to work in the mines. I believe that the average age of death in Potosi is still in the early 50s.
So Cerro Rico, not to be confused with the silver mine today that is being blockaded by the miners, is what, about 2 hours from the salt mines?
Potosi, Cerro Rico is about 4 or 5 hours from the Salar de Uyuni, where they're building the evaporation pools for the lithium extraction.
Now talk about the lithium that is there under the salt and how significant it is, how they're extracting it. And then, this is a tall order, how this fits into President Morales calling this People's Summit on Climate Change.
Well, so lithium, as you said in the intro, is going to be one of the new and most important energy sources in the coming future. It's found right now in our cell phone and laptop batteries. Lithium is the lightest metal, and so it's a great energy storage space for car batteries. And virtually every concept car for electric and hybrid vehicles uses a lithium-ion battery. The lithium is found in the brine underneath the salt cap or layer that's on top of the salt flat. And so what needs to be done is essentially it's not even a mine, it's a process of extraction, in that they bring the brine up to the top where they've built gigantic evaporation pools, and over the course of months the sun and the wind evaporates the water and leaves several minerals there in the brine. They take that brine through pipelines, or they're going to take that brine through pipelines back to a plant that they're building on solid ground off the southern edge of the salar. There they will extract the magnesium, the sulfates, the potassium, all the other minerals that are found in the brine, and the lithium that's left will be turned into lithium carbonate, which is essentially, it'll become a powder, and that's the raw material for these batteries. And so it's, as you said, Bolivia has conservative estimates of known reserves. Bolivia has more than 50%. The Salar de Uyuni itself is the largest lithium deposit in the world.
What does Salar de Uyuni mean?
Uyuni salt flats. Uyuni is the closest town, the closest major town to the salt flats, and Salar means salt flats. There are other salars throughout Bolivia, and they believe that the total could be somewhere between 60 to 75% of the world's reserves found here in Bolivia. And I think the relation to the conference that's happening right now is that, some of what developed countries are calling for when they talk about climate debt and climate justice is not just, getting money for or adapting to climate change. Some of it is these countries want to jump to producing clean energy. They don't necessarily want to keep exploiting their same fossil fuels, oil and gas. And so the fact that Bolivia is leading this charge with trying to develop lithium, I think is very significant, can be important for Bolivians because it could be an incredible source of revenue. People are calling Bolivia now the Saudi Arabia of lithium. But it also is important for the world because it's going to help fuel a new electric age.
The lithium, is it also the drug lithium?
It is, yes. Up until now, the main uses of lithium have been for smaller batteries, for ceramics, and also for bipolar medication.
Huh. President Morales has said he not only wants to extract the lithium and to be the source of it for the world, but he wants to build the cars, the electric cars that will use the batteries that have lithium, use the lithium batteries.
Yes, one of the major proposals of the Bolivian government, what they're saying now is that they don't want to be an exporter of raw materials anymore. They don't want to do just that. For so long, Bolivian countries all over this hemisphere have solely exported the raw materials, while foreign corporations have been able to make the money off of the value-added products, everything down sort of the steps of the industrial line. And so what Bolivia is saying now is, we have this, it's a new day. We have a new opportunity. Yes, it's important to create this raw material, but we want to do not just the lithium carbonate, but produce the metallic lithium, which is sort of the next step in the chain. We want to make the batteries and we want to make the cars because we want Bolivia